You want to talk about a blown opportunity? This is a damn shame in the world of college football. Sherrone Moore, the new head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, he announced that, well, Sherrone, you just take it away.
I just talked to Coach yesterday, and really what went into the decision is we made that decision like in March or I think it was January, February actually. January, February. So it's really to honor him of what he's done for Michigan. I mean, came back for 9 years and took us to where we are now. So it was really to honor him. It was nothing besides that. And yesterday he called me, told me that didn't feel that he could leave his team in true Coach Harbaugh fashion and wanted to be in the foxhole of his team and not want to make it look like he was taking a deep, long bow. So he's not going to make it for the game, but we're going to have some of our guys that are there, and then Jack and Jackie Harbaugh are going to take his place. So super excited about that.
So he was going to be the honorary captain for Michigan when they took on Eddie Garcia's Fresno State Bulldogs in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
And instead he's decided, yeah, listen, I don't want to be a distraction. I just want to stay focused on the Chargers. What a blown opportunity. With all these nickel and dime sanctions that the NCAA handed out, if Harbaugh just showed up there to stick it to the NCAA to be an honorary team captain after that 4-year show cause crap that they rolled out last week. Blown opportunity for Michigan and Jim Harbaugh to stick it to the NCAA. It's a damn shame. A travesty, some would call it.
I don't really know how him going or not going does that in like totality. Them winning it all last year is what stuck it to anybody who may have a hidden agenda against Michigan. That's what I would first say. Then I secondly would say his legacy is solidified in so many ways because he made a team into a contender and a team that beat the arch nemesis of the school. And so he will always be looked at, to me, if you ask me, by the Michigan fan base. He'll always be looked at as a sympathetic figure, and he will be admired and revered in the history and the annals of time for what he was able to accomplish at Michigan. So the sticking will continue to be stuck year in and year out because no matter if Michigan continues to be good and on the trajectory that they've been on since he's taken over and changed, how the team looks, how they're viewed, how they perform, regardless of if it's a high level of accomplishment or it's a low level of accomplishment, it's always going to be referred back to the Harbaugh era of time. And that's not going to change. I think Harbaugh's aware of that. I think Michigan's aware of that. And anybody else that is paying attention to what's going on with Michigan is aware of that. And I don't think him showing up to be an honorary captain diminishes that. I don't think it does anything to perpetuate his legend. His legend is solidified there. And if he wanted to be, I don't even think it really comes down to it being petty for him to do it. It could be considered that like, let me thumb my nose up in y'all's face. Like, look, I came back anyway. Like, I think he's so far removed from that to him coming back in any type of manner that may cause any confusion. I really, from everything I've heard about the Harbaugh family, and I got to know the other one just because he was the special teams coach for Philly when I was playing, and he was at all of the Pro Bowls I was at because they kept getting runner-up. So their coaching staff coached our teams, and I got to know him pretty well. And super cool dude, down to earth, just seemed like a player's type of guy. And I think a lot of people that know his brother, know the Harbaughs, have always said they really genuinely care about their players. And so if that's the truth, him caring about his players that he currently has in the Chargers and his coaching staff, I'm certain he doesn't want to take any time away from them because he's already dealt with taking time away from his team by being suspended and being under fire the way he was last season. And to that point, I'm certain he doesn't want to do anything that would bring unnecessary attention to him that could be, some confusion or, detracting or taking away from what the current Michigan program and what the players and the coaching staff has going on. Imagine if Fresno gave Michigan a hell of a game. No offense, Eddie, but just imagine if they were to be able to give them a real game. And he was the honorary captain. There are going to be comparisons to Sharon Moore taking over full-time versus being a part-time head coach to this team. And whether this happens or not, I think it's rightfully so because they won it all last year. So to me, I don't think that this is a selfish move by Harbaugh. I don't think that this is a him avoiding anything type of move by Harbaugh. I think he really looks at what he has going on, and he feels as though this is not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, and he's going to honor his duties and his responsibilities and stay dialed in and focused in to what he has going on with the Chargers.
Well, that's not the only unfortunate news for Michigan.
Uh-oh.
And for the other unfortunate news, we now turn to our alcohol insider, Lee DeLapp, for the latest. Lee?
Yes, that is correct. Michigan is now the 16th Big Ten program to provide alcohol at the stadium pregame, or during the game, I should say, 1 hour before kickoff, if I wanted to say pregame. But people are upset that the cheapest beer you can find is $12.25 for a 16-ounce domestic beer. They will be providing 5 local craft beers and other macro options, which are probably going to be much pricier. But being from California, I'm actually, that doesn't bother me whatsoever.
I mean, 12.
They're only offering it in the pregame?
No, 1 hour before kickoff, and then, of course, they cut you off at fourth quarter, so it'll be during the game.
So it's during the game.
So $12 for a 16-ounce domestic.
That's a deal in California.
I mean, the problem is people are looking at it as if they're starting fresh from scratch. You're going to be lubed up by the time you walk into that stadium. It's not like you're going to be breaking the bank to try and catch a buzz. You'll already be time traveling by the time kickoff arrives, and you've got an hour before the game as well, too, if you needed to go into the stadium right away to drink, if you want to see all the warm-ups and all that. So you could theoretically rip 8 to 12 beers in the parking lot, maybe a couple of Jell-O shots, walk into the game, and for less than $30, walk out and have to cover one eye to be able to walk back to your car and then realize, I didn't even drive today. It's not the worst thing in the world, okay? But for people that want to go in fresh, not ideal. You're going to spend a little bit of money. Now, what are the craft brews, what are those going to cost? Do they have any details on that as to what's going to happen there?
Well, just from my personal experience, if you were going to do a domestic in California, say at SoFi Stadium, it's going to be $16 to $18 for a Michelob Ultra.
Wait, is it really?
Oh, for a Michelob Ultra for the domestic?
Ultra is $16.
But if you wanted,
that
craft beer,
crazy.
It's like $21.
That is crazy.
So then you can't just give them a 20. You got to crack open the next 5. Give them a 5 as well.
Michelob Ultra is $16 at SoFi?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Jesus.
That's crazy,
isn't it?
Yes.
I mean,
that's
a Michelob Ultra of any size, shape, or whatever. You could give me a Viking mug of Michelob Ultra, and it wouldn't be worth $16.
So is there? No offense to Michelob Ultra if they, if they want to jump on board with the show here, but. Just want to say, how much is a 12-pack of Michelob Ultra, Lee, when you go to Prestige Liquors?
I would never get a 12-pack of Michelob Ultra, but I would get a tall can. And it's about...
Sorry for offending you.
Yeah.
I apologize.
You can get it... it's actually cheaper than a Miller Lite, which I would normally just go Miller Lite, but if I was...
$12.99.
For a 12-pack?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
12. That's what it is. Instacart.
I was going to say
$12.99.
$3.29 for a Tolly.
So a 16 ounce is $16 at SoFi.
For bottles of 12 FL ounces, $12.48.
So Lee, when you get a tall can, by the way, can you explain the terminology for people out there that are maybe, I don't know, Jehovah's, if they're Jehovah's Witness or Mormon, or if somebody out there is Amish and they're riding around on the back of a horse and buggy to try and find somebody with an electrical outlet because they've got to charge their iPhone, whatever it is. Could you explain what some of the terminology is for people out there?
Well, yes, a Tolly typically stands for a 24 ounce, which is basically two normal size beers, a 12 ouncer. So you'd be two. The thing about Michelob Ultra though is they offer 1 extra ounce. That's kind of their brand, is the 25 ounce cans. They put that extra ounce in there. And I've done some extra research. It's not $16. I was mistaken. It's $17. For a 25 ounce of Michelob Ultra at SoFi Stadium.
Now, what would a 16 ounce can be if you bought that? What's that called? If you were to buy that, what would it be called? Like a medium boy or something like that.
A Slim Reaper.
Can you just rattle off all the terms you know, please? What do you know?
They just come to me when I in the moment.
All right, so let me ask you this.
Yes.
All right, we'll put you on the spot.
If you went to go get a 25 ounce slim can, it'd cost you $3.50.
So,
if you go to the good spot, you get for $2.79.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. It's usually $3.50. Yeah.
So Lee, for people listening in Ann Arbor right now on the iHeartRadio app that are looking around, going, all right, we want to figure out a way that we can have a couple of drinks at the game, couple of beers, but not spend more than $30. What would you? Or we'll put it this way: $40 on the day, including drinks in the stadium. What would you tell them to do beforehand, and what would you tell them to do inside the stadium if you had to give them advice?
Well, beforehand, you're definitely going to grab yourself some, just some domestic beer. Get you lubed up before you enter the premises.
Now,
and you got $40 after you get into the.
How many are we talking about?
Well, I would just go with the 3 tall cans. That come prepackaged together. That's fine.
Because that's, what is that, 75 ounces of beer?
75 ounces, and you can kind of split one of them with a buddy because they're going to get warm quick. So
and that's $10.50.
Yeah. Well,
you got yourself right with $10.50. Yeah. If you went and purchased those.
Yeah, you got to crack one of them real quick though, because they get warm fast. Okay. So you got to do that.
Now,
then you split one of them.
Now, is beer the only way you're going? And is there any way that you would recommend, something in the parking lot or something to walk in with? Is there anything?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be there on a day game, I would definitely go tequila over whiskey. I mean, whiskey's more of your night game kind of thing. If you're in the elements, then I'd say, hey, whiskey's good job, but or bourbon, but I would go tequila. So I would go Camarina or Hornitos or Casadores, because you don't need to high end it, because you're going to be putting it in a plastic flask, because that's the goal here. So you don't need to go high end, and you're going to ruin the tequila anyway by putting it in the plastic. So go with your cheap tequila. That's another $10 right there. Okay. So now you got 20. If you're doing it right, you find the good spot. You're under $20, and then you can get a tall can once you get into the stadium.
You know how certain smells attract buzzards or rats and stuff like that?
Yes.
I'm starting to believe that the open containers in Lee's vehicle attracted the bums that ran up on it.
There's no open containers in the car.
I don't believe that. Even if there aren't open containers,
good job.
The smell that comes from his vehicle, it attracts bums, and that's why they went to that car.
So, Jonas? Did you see that picture I sent you during your time off? By the way, I found one of those liquor stores that has the prepackaged goodie bags.
Yeah, Lee found a goodie bag.
Unbelievable.
It had a Buzz Ball. It had a 7-Up. It had 2 different kinds of alcohol. It had lemon absolute vodka. It had some kind of rum concoction.
Hey, Lee.
And a Jolly Rancher.
Let me ask you
I threw that
this.
Jolly Rancher in the buzzball.
All right, a Michigan fan pulls you aside and says, "Hey, man, I want to have one beer at the stadium. It's what, $12.25?
Yes.
That's what they're costing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got $20 on me, which means I got $7.75 left over. How can I get to where I need to get to at the liquor store before I go into the stadium? What do you say to that?
That's okay. So yesterday,
That is funny because he's ready for it.
on my way to the movie theater, I got out of there for under $5.
And what'd you do?
I got a tall Michelob Ultra and and a shot.
Mini bottles?
Yeah, mini bottle. I got out of there for under $5.
Now, if you wanted to have another mini bottle.
So if you want another,
I got out of there for under $5.
If you want, yeah, you can throw in another premium shot in there. You can get or a buzzball. Lorraine has turned me on to the buzzballs. They're awesome.
Jeez.
You just got to put on
Lorraine has
ice.
turned you on to the buzz balls, huh? Okay.
It might have been a mistake. He's been kind of addicted, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
Dang,
kind of
addicted to the buzz balls.
You know what? They're actually kind of pricey. I don't like it.
They're not pricey. If you go to a good place, you can get them for $3.79. They're 15% alcohol, and they really get the job done. And the thing about your beers, Lee, is there's too much liquid. Once you get inside, you already have to pee 3 times.
Dang.
And I don't like being in the bathroom that often. So the buzz balls are nice because there's only, 6 ounces of liquid in them?
Oh, man.
Dang.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a quick shot, straight to the head.